Hello. Today's story is about Imaginitus. Now, I'm not sure if such a word actually exists, but in this story it does. It's called When Henry Caught Imaginitus. It's a story by Nick Bland, another one of my favourite authors. Henry was a very serious boy. His room was always tidy and he always buttoned his shirt right up to the top. Henry never daydreamed or played with toys. He preferred doing sums and straightening things that were just a little wonky. Until one day, Henry had a thought that didn't make any sense at all. And before he could even unthink it, Henry and his silly thought were sailing the seven seas. Henry was very confused. What was this strange thought that was coming to his mind? At supper, another silly thought jumped right out of Henry's head, so he slid under the table and he had a bit of a wrestle with it. I don't think Henry is quite so happy about his strange thoughts that are popping into his head. Look at this one. What do you think Henry is thinking about here? Henry's silly thoughts were getting bigger and bigger. He decided to read a book to make them go away once and for all. And on the shelf he found the big book of sensible things. Perfect, he thought. Just what I need to drive away these silly thoughts. The book was full of sensible ideas like walking forwards is safer than walking backwards. Never eat anything bigger than your head. Well, I'm not quite sure if that is so sensible. And don't fly a rocket unless you're an astronaut. Henry was feeling so much better. He hadn't had a silly thought for ages. He went to the kitchen and had a snack, and he cleaned up his mess like he always did. And he took the rubbish out. It looks to me like Henry is having silly thoughts again. Henry knew something was terribly wrong with him, so he looked in the big book of sensible things for an answer to his problem. Do you think Henry was really having a problem, or was something else going on here? Well, anyway, the book said, if your head is full of silly thoughts, you've caught Imaginitus. Oh dear, thought Henry. So he decided to count 1 plus 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 1. The Book of Sensible Things said there was only one cure for Imaginitus. Henry would have to grow up. But that was going to take a very long time. Henry knew just what to do while he was waiting. He built a wonky castle fit for an imaginary king. But just until I grow up, he said. Seems to me like that Henry has decided Imaginitus is not such a bad thing after all. And that, Henry thought, was really a very sensible thing to do. When you have Imaginitus, what are some of the things that you think of sometimes? Maybe you'd like to think about that for a while, until we come back for another story. Bye.